interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you. Interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you. Interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you. Interrupt our program to bring you this important message. I love you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dean Callan Show. Today is Fun Day Friday. And I am not going to lie, this is the first time in the 22 days I've been doing this show live that I'm terrified of doing the show. As terrified as I am, I'm terrified in a good way. Like terrified in the kind of way where when you're about to walk out and do a presentation in front of more people than you've ever presented to in front of... I had an extra thing I didn't need to add. See, there I am, right? I'm overanalyzing the way I'm speaking because I had a glorious afternoon this afternoon with my wife and child. Despite being stressed out about trying to record it and do my whole thing, I sat in the sunshine. My son is a little bit sick, but you know, he's all right. And I try to hide it from the back of my head. I'm like, right, let's be positive. He's healthy, he's happy, he's smiling. He's got a temperature, but he's going to get through it, right? He's tough. And my wife is dealing with it very well. She's taking care of him really well. We sat in the sunshine today and had, I have to say, two of the best burgers I've had in a long time. We drank Pornstar Martinis, or what is the new Pornstar Spritz, I would say, in the sun all afternoon. I promised you yesterday, if anyone was watching yesterday, if anyone's watching today, let me know that the audio is working. Like every single day. Is the audio working? I don't know. But like yesterday, I promised you that Douglas Anko was personally going to get involved and tell us the spec of the Pornstar Martini. And he was personally going to provide us the modern recipe or the modern Pornstar Martini. He was going to make one for me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie, I was bullshitting you. Douglas, being the nice guy that he is, sent me a bottle of the P-Star Original Passion Fruit Liqueur Premix with a nice, like, friendly note saying, you know, try it out, like, let me know what you think, because this is the final version. Now, I've tried a previous version before and got back and forth with Douglas. And then yesterday, I just, like, announced, like, oh, tomorrow we're going to do the Pornstar Martini episode. It's going to be amazing. We're going to talk about Pornstar Martinis the whole time. It's going to be great. And then I was kind of joking, saying that, like, I'm going to get the original recipe from the man himself. And then Electra last night, my wife, who is considerably more intelligent than I am, and, like, I'm not great at insinuating that I'm joking when I'm joking. She said, like, you did promise people, you know, you promised people that you were going to get Douglas on the show. So, like, you have to get Douglas on the show. You can't just tell people you're going to have Douglas on the show and then not have Douglas on the show. It's a serious thing. You're going live to people. What is Diogo going to think? What is your number one fan going to say? So, this morning, I woke up and just messaged Douglas over and over again until eventually he responded and said, I'm going for a family walk. I'll talk to you in an hour and a half. And he did. He talked to me in an hour and a half. It was amazing. I got Douglas on the show. So, do I have a video to cut to? Well, it turns out I have a couple of videos to cut to. I have Mitch's Minute. I have David Cordoba. David Cordoba he's not only the man that makes the best daiquiri, but he's also been around long enough to know what it was like to make a Pornstar Martini when Pornstar Martinis first came out. you know, like when they were first popular outside of London. So I called him and asked him what he thought. And we talked about exercise for quite a while. And I think I'm going to cut that bit out and send it to Monday, where we do Mindful Mondays, which is basically just a day where I don't drink. I'm not the most mindful person in the world. To me, mindfulness started, or the mindfulness movement within the bar industry started when Gary Regan, must have been 6 or 7 years ago, did a session for us on mindfulness. But his whole had nothing to do with being healthy as far as not drinking. It was about being healthy as far as keeping your mindset right and thinking about what do other people think, you know, where are they at? Anyway, moving on from that. Let's have a look, right? We'll start. Okay, my computer's doing some weird shit. I'm just going to ignore it. We'll start with David, right? David Cordoba is based in Spain at the moment. He's traveled the entire world. If you don't already know him, he's a total legend. I quickly got in touch with him to ask him, you know, do you remember the first time you made a Pornstar Martini? When was it? Where was it? Let's go to David.
I know.
I've
You've
come to
always
know
been a
him.
gadget man.
Yeah, that's my jam. So today, right?
I'm making a daiquiri in the meantime because
I can see
I
you,
know
I
the
can
daiquiri
see
is
you.
already kind of like gone a long time ago.
And it's a lover's daiquiri.
Yeah, it's the lover's daiquiri, man.
I can't wait to have a lover's daiquiri. I've not yet had one. I tasted it in Berlin, but that's as far as
As,
I've gotten.
as soon as I get some stock, I actually requested some stock from my warehouse. As soon as I get one, I will send the one bottle so you can actually make one.
Well, when it comes to the UK, just let me know who's supplying it, and I'll buy some.
Perfect. Whiskey exchange.
Oh, okay, nice. All right, I know where to get that.
I need to find out exactly when. I think they're ready already, but with this, it's a little bit delays and.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I'm gonna make a little bit of noise just for a
using,
few seconds.
spoons of caster sugar in your daiquiri? I was told by someone who knows more about daiquiris than me that you shouldn't use sugar syrup, right?
I always use, and this is my daiquiri spoon.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, always. I believe like any recipe, you can tweak it, you can change it, you can add it whatever you want. But if you have one recipe that you know that works for you, it's like making a cake or making a pastry. You'll follow exactly the format. It's like a 30 mils of lime, 2 spoons of sugar, 60 mils of rum. You don't want to add it by eye.
Okay.
You know?
I'm with you, man. Well, I know you make great daiquiris, so I'm never going to challenge your ability to make a daiquiri. But what I will ask you, and you can think on this while you're shaking, do you remember the first time you were ever asked to make a Pornstar Martini?
I think so. Location. I don't remember precise who was, but I remember it was a time when I used to live in Scotland.
Okay.
And back in the day, that we're talking about maybe 2003. That's a very long time ago. And I remember I used to live in a bar that doesn't exist anymore called Halo in the West End.
You used to live in the bar? You worked there all day, every day?
Yeah, I was working as a bartender. I would say Halo was my first proper job as a cocktail bar in Edinburgh.
Okay.
I worked in another place, but it was not a cocktail bar per se. And during that time, it was a time where it was kind of like cosmopolitan. It was like the drink that everybody would like to drink. It was not the time for the mojito. It was a time for experimentation, and it was more like purees,
Wait, I've got it. I've just rediscovered.
Exactly, the muddling. It was a time where it was like Tin shakers. No, it was Boston shakers.
Yeah, glass.
Everybody used Bostons.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a glass. It was there. You know,
I
it was a
love it.
time where consumers wanted to see what is inside
Yeah.
of the glass.
And
Exactly.
they wanted to see you squish stuff. They wanted to see you put effort in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Many times over, like it was a time where it's. And I remember, like, when they came with Pornstar Martini, I wasn't sure if it was a real drink
Or
or
was a
not.
joke.
I was kind of like, I don't know if it was during that year or the year after, but I remember that it was Silver Mercedes. It was a different drink, you know, but it was a Silver Mercedes. It was a drink that it was in a bar called Tonic in Edinburgh.
I know Tonic.
And they used to make this kind of drinks, you know, like Silver Mercedes, Pornstar Martini. They used to make that kind of quirky drinks, like, can I have a little bit Prosecco with my, passion fruit? And we always knew that passion fruit in every drink is a must-have.
Yeah, like creme de
You're
pêche.
never going to go wrong with a passion fruit.
You put creme de pêche in a drink as well, same thing.
Yeah,
It's magic.
same thing. It's like these two work, and it was as well the year of the vanilla syrup.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody was putting vanilla syrup too. Means when it came up to me at that time, the recipe was not passed to us as per se today, that you kind of like follow up and you have a style to do it. And I think I remember like making it as it goes. What is it? Okay, I'm making it and put it on. That's it. Top it up and just give it. It was not even I know with that name for me it was kind of like not sure. It's like what is that? This shot. This one very very famous shot. Cowboy something.
Oh, cocksucking cowboy.
Exactly. Pornstar Martini, same thing. Sorry about. I completely forgot about that. It's like I need to go back to the bars and order more shots these days. But I was kind of like, what the fuck is a Pornstar Martini?
Would you ever assumed it would get as far as it has today?
Because
cocksucking cowboys, nobody knows them. Pornstar Martinis, they're making them at Sainsbury's.
I would say yes. If you're looking at, I would say two things. I never thought that people will start drinking pina coladas again. Because when I started drinking pina coladas back in the day, and it's you too, it was kind of like a bartender's drink. It's almost like the drink that nobody wants to make anymore. The drink is like, we're not making that drinks here.
Yep, I know.
You know what I mean? And it's like Pornstar Martini have that bad fame, almost like tainted by everybody.
But it's tainted by being over popular.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or made really badly. Or for example, by the time would everybody drink martini or very strong alcohol, like something like old fashioned, and suddenly can I have a pina colada? What? Pina colada?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Pornstar Martini have exactly the same thing. But if you're thinking about it, it's consumer friendly. Every person would say, "Oh, nice, passion fruit," and they have what? Sparkling wine? Yeah, that's me. Here, please. You want to? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just around all of us, it's 8. Thank you.
Well, man, look, today I've spent my day drinking this one, which is Douglas's premix one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Douglas,
man. Have you tasted it?
Amazing.
It's actually really good. You just pour this and then top it with Prosecco. So he's moved on. He's now using it like a spritz style. He's got his premix with everything, all the flavor in it, other than the Prosecco. You pour it, you top it with Prosecco. So we've been drinking it all after. I ran out of Martini Prosecco, unfortunately. That's two bottles.
You need to order some more.
Well, I've got a third bottle inside the house. I'm gonna have to get that out before the show starts. But yeah, it's been really good. But I thought it's Fun Day Friday. I wanted to look at like one particular drink and chat to people about it. So I might not be able to use the whole of our conversation, but I wanted to definitely, since you said yes, feature you on the show as much as I can, and then it gives me a lead into the next time when I'm able to get a bottle of the Lover's Rum here.
Yeah.
I can make some drinks with it, and you can hopefully, if you're into it,
Yeah, absolutely.
talk me through how to make the world's best daiquiri.
That is good. Absolutely.
Which would be my dream.
It would be a pleasure, man. I think what you're doing is genius. And love it. I love what you're doing over there, and
Awesome.
Phenomenal.
Well, thank you so much, man.
Definitely.
And thanks for taking my call as well. I know you got to get prepped for your fitness stuff.
Yeah, I have like another 45 minutes, finish my second daiquiri, where I'm going to be like a little bit tipsy for my workout, but it's fine.
Well, it's good. It'll relax your muscles, right? Thins your blood as well. You'll get your blood will flow more freely.
I will pass out easily as well.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, man. Have a nice night.
Take it easy.
Take care. Stay inside. Stay safe. I'll see you next time we're allowed to hang out together in the same space. Ciao, brother.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
So what a total legend Davide Cordoba is. And his rum, the Lover's Rum, as soon as it arrives in town, I'm going to buy a bottle, have it sent here, and I'm going to do a tasting of it and see how it works in a daiquiri. Hopefully, I'll be able to align him being free with when the rum arrives, so I can talk it through with him and get the recipe straight from the horse's mouth, which, I'm not going to lie. When I first started bartending, the idea of talking to someone directly that had created a product, I didn't even think of it. Like, as I started learning about the products I was interested in. So, for example, I'm a whiskey drinker. It's kind of in my blood. My dad drinks whiskey. My father's father actually drank brandy, as far as I understand. My dad will probably strike me down for this because he probably drank whiskey as well. But like my grandfather on my mother's side, as far as I understand, drank everything from sherry to Madeira to whiskey to you name it. The guy was well known for his capacity to drink. But for me, I started out with whiskey. So the first thing I started to learn about was whiskey. So like my heroes back in the day when I started realizing mash bills production were bourbon producers. So, Booker No, Jimmy Russell, the guys that made the products that I drank, I couldn't have even imagined meeting them, which I met Booker No's son, Fred No, lovely guy. I met, I was lucky enough to meet Jimmy Russell. And like the guy was super old at the time, but I can say I lived at a time that Jimmy Russell was around. And I went to a whiskey expose, whatever you would call it, and I met the guy and he shook my hand. Like Jimmy Russell is synonymous with Wild Turkey if you don't know. And it's just like massive. So for me, meeting Douglas Ankara, when I first met him, I didn't know who he was. I was working in a high volume bar, banging out drinks, and all that mattered to me, just checking to make sure everything's working, all that mattered to me was, I'm working here, this is my station. This is my station. There are many stations like it, but this station is mine, right? So to give you an idea what the station looks like, man, how does this happen every time? Is this going to work? That's my station, right? So to me, what is a station? If you look, I'm here. I've got my gut hanging over here, right? If you can still hear me. Let's see what the audio is doing. It's not on mute, as far as I understand. So here, if I put my hands out, my knuckles rest exactly at the end of here so I can grab stuff. If I stretch out, my knuckles end at the end of the bar so that no matter which way I need to go, I can reach a glass, right? If you look, if I put this one down on your right, I don't know left, look at that. So that's my arm's reach without moving. My knuckles touch the two sides. Lean, lean. I can reach everything. I can reach the taps without moving. My knuckles touch the bottom of the ice rail. Like, to me, this cockpit style bartending setup is my dream. Like, boom, bang, like bang, bang. That's why I was trained when I first started bartending, vodka, and then gin, and then light rum without having to look, right? Like, you can just, you know where things are, you can grab them. They're in a spot that you can see, you can touch. Everything is where your mind knows that it is. So you get set in your little station. That was my life. All I was worried about was how fast I can bang out drinks. There was a sales program in the bar I worked in. The bar was called Q Bar in Dublin. And the sales program was based on how many packets of cigarettes and how many Diageo products you could sell. So the person who had the highest sales for Diageo products, and when I say Diageo products, this is way before there was ever a Tanqueray 10. There wasn't a Tanqueray. It was Smirnoff, it was Gordon's, it was Bailey's, and I smashed it. My sales were huge. So you had to get a certain amount of points per sales to get a mini disc player. I won the mini disc player, I won like the hat, I won 2 tickets to Slane twice. That was the biggest item there was. I won not only the portable mini disc player, but the mini disc player with speakers. Basically, if you got, I'll give you an example, 450 points, you got a mini disc player. If you got 100 points, you got like a hat or a bottle of Smirnoff. I got like thousands of points, to the point that the sales rep was like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm the guy that works 7 days a week, every single day, 12, 13 hours a day, and sells. I was on point. I was the most hyperactive person in the world. I just sold. Then I used to train Muay Thai 2 or 3 times a week, and I had the entire inside of my leg muscles torn to shreds, so I couldn't walk. And my bar manager told me, "Right, you can't be on point because you can't move. So we're going to put you in the cocktail bar." So I had this tiny little cocktail bar, and you don't have to move fast. So I moved around like this, doing these ones, right? Because it was a small bar, and the cocktail bar didn't take much money, so I didn't have to work as hard. I was waiting until my leg repaired so I could go downstairs, and then Douglas Anker did a cocktail training, and he and I think his name was Nick. I'm pretty sure it was Nick. They did a cocktail training, and I was told to go and do the cocktail training because, you got to do the cocktail training, right? You're the cocktail guy now. I go down to do the cocktail training. Actually, Douglas's training, it went deep into what the space spirit was. Here's the history, here's the story, here's how it's made. Here's how to make this drink. Here's how to make these ingredients. And I thought to myself, there's more, this is more than volume. I want to know about this stuff. I want to get involved on this. This is my thing. So I asked every question I could think. And then I went to every single training he did. He was doing multiple different bars on his tour, and I kept going to every different bar because I was working in different bars, and I knew everyone. But I'm going to cut to myself chatting to Douglas. I got him on the phone, and I have to stress this. Douglas is a private individual that does not want to put himself forward all the time. I have had a few drinks today. I'm not going to lie. Pretty wasted. I've had a really nice afternoon, just sitting in the sun, drinking Pornstar Martinis. But I got a hold of Douglas today. He was so lovely. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to set this up so that I could get a very good quality recording. I had to record the audio separately to the video. I had to record the video on screenshot through a phone, but this is the best I was able to get. But I got him. I got him to talk to us. So, without holding you back, if I can find him, which I can't. Here is Douglas. That looks a bit better, right?
I'm not very good at doing things like that, so I kind of keep away. But you're the first person ever to get access to me to interview.
Well, I pressured you into it. I'd like to apologize in advance for that.
Don't worry about it, it's fine, mate. It's okay. How you doing? You good?
I'm really well, thanks. I'm trying to keep myself busy, and as you know, I love doing the videos. So the last couple of weeks, I've just been throwing everything I've got into it.
Excellent.
So I got this.
Excellent. What do you think of it?
I think it. Well, I wanted you to. I'm waiting to open it so that you can talk me through the exact correct way to make it.
Alrighty. Is it chilled?
It's chilled. So this is chilled. I've got my martini prosecco in the freezer, getting as cold as I can possibly get it. Because you still do prosecco on the side, right?
Of course. In your case, champagne will do.
In my case, champagne, yeah. Well, so can you talk me through, right? I wanted to ask a couple of questions because I know you don't do interviews with people. And there's probably a lot of people that would be watching this show either like now or in the future that be wondering, when you created the drink, did it like take off straight away? Or was it like a slow burn? Because the name, it's an immediate... What?
Certainly. Well, it took a bit of a time to kind of get going. Pornstar Martini has two names, really. It's called the Maverick Martini.
Okay.
Named after a strip club that we used to go to in Cape Town while I was writing my book, Shaking It There.
Okay.
Inspired the drink. So when we came back to London to open Townhouse in Knightsbridge, I put a drink together. I thought, this drink is quite good. It's quite literally give two names. Pornstar Martini, if you're out with your friends, nighttime in a bar, you can call it Pornstar Martini. Then if you're with friends and family and so forth, you call it Maverick Martini, more of a tame name.
Okay. So Maverick's the name you gave your mum? Like...
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. Mum, I'm famous for making the Maverick Martini. That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that. And it was Townhouse rather than Lab that you launched it in.
Yeah, it's Townhouse, which appeared I think the second menu at Townhouse. And initially it didn't take off. It was quite hard to make. When made correctly, it's quite hard. It takes quite a while to make. It took quite a while. Eventually, it became super famous from SW3. This spread through the regions and towns across UK.
Okay, cool. And now it's just enormous. Do you have any idea how big it actually is? Do you know how many countries are making Pornstar Martinis?
I'm truly honored. It's super famous. I know that. And I'm very proud and very honored to have created it.
Okay, cool. And so, all right, you probably get asked this a million times. Do you remember the very first original spec?
Totally, yeah. Very much so. How did I forget? I invented it.
Well, I'm trying to find my whiteboard marker now because I want to get it right from you if I can before I go into making like the modern, your modern version. Where is it? Damn it!
Didn't get yourself together, man. Come on.
All right, I'm here. I'll forget it. I'll use it. I'll record it off the video. So original spec to put everyone to rest, to stop people like debating it constantly online. What was the original spec?
The original spec is vanilla vodka, carrier vanilla vodka, which is 40 ml, 15 to 20 ml of Passoa,
Yeah.
15 ml of passion fruit puree, and 2 flat bar spoons of homemade vanilla sugar.
Okay, the stuff that you made, because I remember you did a training for me in Dublin in like 2001 or something like that. And I'll never forget, because I have an insane sweet tooth. You made me a drink called a caramello. You didn't make a Pornstar, but you made a caramello, which was, if I remember correctly, Appleton Estate VX with cinnamon and dates infused in it, with cloudy apple juice, butterscotch, and a little rim of vanilla sugar.
Certainly, yeah. Good memory.
Yep. I'll never forget that because it was the first. You were the first.
Actually created that drink.
What's that?
Yeah, I know who created it. It was a lab drink. It wasn't my invention.
Yeah.
It was an old lab drink. I thought it was probably Jim and Terrell or Andreas Muscle or something. I'm not too sure.
Okay. Well, both big names now in the industry, huh?
Jeremy's done very well. Andreas keep doing so well.
Yeah, Dre Master is awesome. Like, but so that drink I'll never forget because it was the first time the drinks I was being shown how to make at the time were like Long Island iced teas and like.
Don't knock them though. Don't knock. They're good drinks, by the way. Don't knock them.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like take a really good quality rum, infuse it with fresh ingredients, make your own vanilla syrup. It was mixology at a different level to straight, take these bottles off the back bar. And also, the thing that got me that very first training, because I was a volume bartender, and that's all I cared about, just how much I can bang out and put through my till at the end of the night. But when you opened, I used to drink a lot of whiskey, right? When you brought us Jack Daniels, which was pre-mellowing, White Dog, post-mellowing, and then like a couple of years in, and you had them in little bottles, and there was like the clear, unaged Jack Daniels, and I walked up to you afterwards and was like, where did you get the Jack Daniels bottles from? And you just real cool, calm went, I know people. And I was like, what? So from there on in, I was like, that's it. I'm no longer a volume bartender. I'm going to become a mixologist. I'm going to read every book I can. And I don't know, you probably don't remember me, but I was turning up to like multiple trainings and you gave me a bottle of Booker's.
I remember that very well.
Yeah, it was amazing. Great time for me. So, yeah, thank you so much for answering my call.
It's a pleasure, man. You know that.
So I want to now see the improved version. I told everyone yesterday on my live show that you were going to personally make me a Pornstar Martini to your current spec, which I wasn't lying about because as far as I'm concerned,
I'm going to come and see you next when this is all over.
As soon as this is all over, yeah, I'd love for you to sit down in here.
I'll be in your studio.
Yes, 100%.
First and foremost, you need to kind of chill it first. Make sure it's chill.
It's super cold.
Quick shake before you open it.
Alright, so look, you can see the chill on the outside. It's nice and cold.
I can feel it, almost. And it's a perfect day for it.
Yeah, it's beautiful outside. So we're going to have... It's Fun Day Friday today. So we're going to... Myself and my wife are having a barbecue. We got a new barbecue. We upgraded our barbecue. We got an egg. Have you seen those?
I haven't actually.
They're like an insulated egg that get up to...
Oh yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
To like 400 odd degrees or something like that. It's got pizza stones in it. Alright, I'm excited about this. I tasted one of your earlier renditions of this, like one of the first ones. So a martini glass, a coupe?
No, you know what? I'm putting that in a wine glass.
Putting it in a wine glass, yep.
Yeah, let's do an uptake of the new version of the bottle Pornstar passion fruit liqueur.
And do I need to put this on ice and shake it or anything like that?
No, you don't need to shake it, especially as at least serves the spritz. So ice up your wine glass for 6 hard ice cubes.
Yep. So I've only got giant pre-cut stuff at the moment.
I love it. Even better.
What I'll do... Oh yeah, really? A big one?
Excellent, yeah.
Does it fit? Oh, look at me failing.
Shave it up.
You're making me nervous.
Hey.
Yeah.
You're very well versed in this. I'm nervous talking to you.
Alright, ready? We got these in here. And then it's just poured over the top?
Yes, 75 ml of Pornstar passion fruit liqueur. Then quick stir, top up with Prosecco, 50 ml, and that's it.
Oh, so you top it with Prosecco?
Yeah, the whole service changed.
Okay, amazing. So it's evolved to become like a more of a spritz style serve.
Yeah, so I think times have changed. You need to also update different types of serves. So it's served now as a spritz, as a Bellini, as a shot. But this, I mean, for spritz, it's easy, quick to serve. And anyone can do it at home or in a bar or barbecue, so on and so forth. What do you think? Delicious?
You could drink it like that.
Yeah, you can.
But,
Yeah, I drink it. Literally as shots, straight from the freezer.
all right.
What are you using?
I'm using Martini.
1 second. Nice.
You can't see it because it's all blown out on this camera. But like,
Yeah,
I figure, right? You've removed the Martini for obvious reasons because now it's more of a spritz serve. But we've got the Pornstar
Yeah, it's.
Martini, right?
I do. I think you're clever. I like that. So
It makes it nice and easy.
From porn, I've taken the porn of that. Literally put P asterisk, passion fruit liqueur.
And we know what the asterisk stands for, right?
Of course, yeah. Totally. Everyone knows what it stands for. It's 50 ml on top. Quick stir. If you've got half a passion fruit, just drop it in there, and that's a passion fruit liqueur. Easy to make, quick, fun, delicious.
All right, I'm gonna have a few of these in the sunshine today, and then I'm gonna show this video on my show later tonight,
Excellent.
which will be like a great pleasure for me and an honor. Let me see if I can cheers you without it blowing out. Cheers, Douglas.
Oh man, it's a pleasure. Enjoy.
Moving on. What time is it? I think it's about time. Have we got audio? Am I back normal? It's about time, I think, for Mitch's Minute. So Mitch's Minute today, I think it's a special Mitch's Minute. He decided, he was like, meh, I'm not going to answer that. Watch this. Mitch. The man, the myth, the legend.
The first thing I'm gonna do after quarantine. After isolation, I'm going to take my dog to the dog park with the other dogs. While my wife Karen puts on a nice dress and does her hair. Then we're gonna have a shower, put on a nice suit, go to fucking Moose on Frank's, have some martinis, a couple of bottles of champagne, eat some steaks. I'm gonna book some fucking flights. Yeah, first one's gonna be to come to England and see you and Electra and Axel. We'll drink some martinis with Hannah Lamphere. And then we're gonna go to Australia and see the rest of our family, which is where we should be right now. But yeah, bring on August, right?
Right, so bring on August. Dude, I really hope that by August everything is completely sorted and everything's okay in the US. Looking at the timeline, I'm just getting bunkered down. I set myself up for the long haul. Right, so. So, here's the music. Time to make a drink. And today, I wanted to do more of an exploration of the Pornstar Martini and get a ton of people to send in Pornstar Martini recipes. But what I might do is do a Pornstar Martini episode 2 when Douglas is allowed to come in. Douglas said he was going to come hang out here, right? So if Douglas comes and sits right there and I can have a proper chat with him, we can have a couple of drinks, relax, get the nerves out of the way, get decent audio so everyone can hear. I'd love to be able to ask him what was Soho like in the 90s, what was bartending like when effectively you had TGI Fridays was the pinnacle of bartending, and then Milk and Honey and Lab Bar and modern mixology just sprung up. Like, I'd love to be able to sit down and hear from someone who was there at that time and was like young enough to be fully embracing it, you know, like getting involved. So hopefully we'll get Douglas back. Hopefully we'll get him sitting here, and we'll have a couple of Pornstar Martinis and some other drinks like a Caramello, and we'll get that interview with proper audio. Again, I apologize for the audio. Audio is super difficult. I don't even understand why that went wrong. I really don't. So, you're at home. You don't have cocktail shakers and loads of equipment. Order this. Gets delivered to your house. It comes in a box. Not unlike this. It comes with like cardboardy, protecty things. Check this out. Look, look. Right? And in there, you get this jobby. Right? Just order it. It's not expensive. Gets delivered to your house. Right? Now, next thing you'll need, ingredient number 1. Ingredient number 2, Prosecco. Right. Now, as I said earlier on, you might not have heard the audio, I don't know, with Douglas. Douglas removed the Pornstar Martini thing, like the Maverick Martini, right? You might have missed it, but my question to him was, what did you tell your mum that you're most famous for, like, as far as your drinks? And I meant to say that, right? I was nervous at the time. But you can imagine, you tell your mum, like, Mum, I created this drink that's become famous. I've now got a premix for it. It's called the Maverick Martini. But it's famous as the Pornstar Martini. It's the same drink, right? So we have Family Edition, Maverick Martini, Pornstar Edition. But either way, the P-Star has removed the porn, but kept the essence of the flavor. But we need the word martini in there. Bam. P-Star Martini. Works. Drank a whole bottle of this afternoon. It's fucking delicious. Right, so. Whoosh. As you've seen earlier, I ended up just going with one piece of ice. I'm going to stamp my name on it. Because you know what? I don't care that you guys are waiting around. You ain't got shit to do. It's Friday. Well, I would assume so. If you've got stuff to do and you're watching this, you should definitely go and do the other stuff. This is a time-wasting exercise. Right, so yesterday, I told you, if I got my shit done in the morning, which I felt like I got some work done in the morning. I didn't quite send all the emails out, but it occurred to me halfway through the day that I'm consulting to people that don't work Easter Friday. My wife, Electra, told me Friday and Monday, people aren't working. It's a holiday. But, of course, like, who takes holidays when you're doing what you love? Right? So I'm going to do a show on Monday. And I'm doing a show today. Because I love this shit. It's exciting. It's scary and exciting at the same time. Never have I had to learn so much so fast. And then you're not learning something and then teaching it. You're learning it and then like putting the 2 hours of learning on the line live in front of possibly 9 people, 11 people, right? It's scary. I had a bunch of these today. I'm not going to pretend this is the first time I've tasted it. It's fucking delicious. Watch this. This is me drinking them while I was setting up my barbecue and having a barbecue. Eating burgers. If it's working. Is it working? It's not working. Damn it! Would have been so cool if it just worked. Like, this is me drinking these while setting up my barbecue and having some burgers. I forgot also, if this what today, one of our 2 bean bags that we ordered got delivered. Did you see the size of that bean bag? Did you see how many beans are in that bag? That bag is full of beans. That bag, you could say, is more full of beans than myself or Axel, right? You could say it, but you might be wrong. Who's more full of beans? I'm saying Axel is working up to it. At the moment, I'm the bean master flex. Like, I'm full of beans. That's my whole jam. I'm the beans guy. I'm the guy that's full of beans all the time. Beans means beans. Right, so put this one away. When you drink too much on a Friday afternoon and then you do a live show, it's so exciting, isn't it? Right, so today, where's my Goldie McJobby Bob? Right, there we go. Probably put a little bit more martini in there. Yeah, thank you. We're going to drink this evening once the show is finished. So, usually I would show you something that is like vintage, that I think is cool, that's been popping around the cabin. Today, because the studio is becoming like, I feel like I'm learning how to put the show together as I figure out a problem. So, for example, the other day I was trying to get the angle to change, and it turned out I've got 3 screens in front of me. One of them is my computer screen, tells me what the computer's doing, so I can look on here. It says Axel wins on beans. Axel wins on beans, right? So I can see that now. I've got a big monitor that tells me what you guys are seeing, and then now I didn't have it yesterday. I've got another monitor that tells me what the multi-camera, the one that I can change angles on, is feeding to that. And that's important because yesterday it turned out that the multi-angle was fixed on one angle and feeding to this, so it looked like I'd changed to the right angle, but in fact I hadn't. So this sounds really stupid and wanky, but if you're watching this and you're looking at doing a live show yourself, if you're having these problems, get in touch, because I'm figuring them out as they happen. So today I've figured out some more stuff than I had yesterday, and it's actually really exciting to be learning something and then applying it, and then learning something and then applying it, and then learning something and applying it. It feels like when I first started out bartending, because as much as today I can't walk into a bar and know all the cocktails on the list or anything like that, I'm trying to apply something that I think is the key to bartending that's 20 years down the line, whilst not fully understanding like these ergonomics, if that makes sense. Whereas this, I know nothing about and I'm learning it on the fly. So it's really exciting. Now, to keep that rolling, I've been grabbing stuff from the room. Today, to put one of the screens up, I had to remove something off the wall. When I removed it, I realized that I didn't want to let that thing go from the cabin. So I'm trying to figure out where I can fit it so it sits still on the wall without being hidden. I'll show you what it is. So this is like a piece of graffiti that was done on a stretched canvas by Sergio Lianza. And it says 2018 on there. And Sergio and I met through the Martini Racing Ciclismo cycling thing. And it turned out he lived in Peckham, which is just around the corner from where I live. So I said to him, like, hey man, come hang out. Like, well, you know, I didn't know him. I didn't know what he'd done in previous. And I invited him around to the house. So he comes around to the cabin, we're gonna have a drink. And when he arrived, he brought this. And the thing is, I didn't prompt him to bring anything. I didn't ask for him to look me up or anything like that. But just prior to this, well, about 2 years, a year and a half prior to this, I'd won like a rematch competition, and like that was kind of a highlight of my career because, like I said earlier today, fast bartending was what I did, and I hadn't bartended for 7-8 years, properly, maybe 6 years. So I get and do a speed bartending competition and I won, and he captured that moment, but himself in graffiti, and he gave this to me as a gift. So it's been hanging on the wall since. I've had to move it. I'm going to find a new space for it. But I thought this was as important as any expensive vintage shit that I've got sitting around here. And given that I have to find a space for it today, it's justified to put it on the show and say thank you so much, Sergio. This, like, genuinely, this means a lot to me. The thought and effort that was put into this as a gift, epic. Right, one thing for tasting. What are we going to taste? Now, I like tasting stuff. I like tasting stuff that people don't already know, right? So I'm gonna if there's anyone watching, right? You might take a minute, but I want to vote on what we're gonna taste. Are we gonna taste Johnny Walker Black Blade Runner edition? So if you're seeing this, which angle is that on? Oh, it's on that angle. If you're seeing this, it's a Blade Runner edition. This is a limited edition one. It's at a 49%. Hazelwood 21-year-old. Note, it says House of Hazelwood, only available currently in Israel, I believe. Or, what do you want to know what it tastes like? Not that I tell you what it tastes like. Like, I'm not great at explaining what things taste like, am I? Really? So let's go something a little bit more known. Oh no, fuck that shit. Let's go Stowning Young Rye. So, what do you not know? Right? And I'll read off the bottle and I'll explain it. Anyone? Nobody so far. So, what I'm going to do, I've got 3 little, like, cocktail picks. One of them is a gold one with a round end. Still not seeing anyone. One of them is an Italicus one. And one of them is a copper one. Right? So, Stowning. Right. Wait. Hazelwood's my vote for Electra. Hazelwood. We've got 2 for Hazelwood. All right, Hazelwood. I'll taste Stowning another day. Sorry, man. So, all right. This shit is bananas. It's really, really good. So it comes in a 500ml bottle, all solid glass. Like it's designed after like Art Deco Shanghai, I believe, 1920s. Wait till you like, I can't wait to taste this. So on the bottle, it says House of Hazelwood. House of Hazelwood, I think, is being removed. I think they're just putting Hazelwood instead of House of. Blended Scotch whiskey, exquisite and finest. Created by master blender Brian Kinsman. It's got Brian Kinsman's signature in gold. You can't see it there. God, I wish I could get this. I wish I was able to control focus. But that little squiggly, where is it? That little squiggly bit, Brian Kinsman's signature. Right, so this is a 21-year-old, crafted by William Grant & Sons. Obviously, I have a good relationship with William Grant & Sons, so, you know, if they get something new, I go out and buy it. And Brian Kinsman, I'm a massive fan of, so I love his shit. So... honestly, I'm doing these bits where I'm tasting stuff, and I know that we're in quarantine. I'm doing these bits where I'm tasting stuff purely because I want to figure out what it's like to get into a routine of tasting stuff, but my dream is to have someone sat here. Like, I don't even know how to, where would it be? See, nothing works. I have to... At the moment, I'm stuck in a situation where you can't get the equipment that I want delivered. And I know the equipment costs like £1,000 or whatever, but I'll go into debt to make the show better. I don't care. No, it doesn't work. Whatever. Imagine you're looking from over there. You can see the whole bar. Looks really pimp. Someone's sitting here. You can hear them perfectly. And I'm like, what should we taste today? And every day there's a different person. Maybe it's once a week show. And they're sitting there and we have an interesting conversation and I reach up and I grab something. That's the purpose of me doing the tasting. I don't want to tell you that you're going to taste subtle hints of butterscotch. There's like a floral note of orange blossom. Like, I'm not going to say those things because you don't taste those things. You might taste your own things. You might just taste alcohol because you never drank in your life. But this is fucking delicious. There's no two ways about it. Oh. This, I'll show you what you do. If you get a bottle of this, I'll show you what you do. I'll show you what you do. Take a glass. Take a can of soda. Nope. Take a really good quality piece of ice, right? One you don't have to think about. It's not a dirty piece of ice. This piece of ice hasn't been sat in a freezer with fish, you know, hasn't been exposed to bad aroma. This is like a clean, fresh piece of ice. It's like, you know, the ice that's been sitting there since the Ice Age, up in the, like, I don't know, the polar ice caps. Apparently, I heard from someone, I can't confirm or deny this, that it's actually cheaper to buy massive, like, shipping containers full of glacier ice and then have it shipped to the UK. Keep it frozen. It's actually cheaper and better for the environment to do that than it is to take water, filter it, and then freeze it because it uses less energy and it actually costs less. And the ice would have otherwise melted into the ocean anyway. Interesting. Put a dash of this one. Now, me personally, if I like orange, I would do this. Take a tiny sliver of orange and put a tiny bit of sugar on it. Right? So just on the outside. Just enough that the sugar starts to melt onto the outside and it just dissolves. If there's extra, flick it off. Put that in there. Now you've got the desired twist, right? But you've got enough sugar in there that when you pour the soda over the top, it's not a straight up whiskey and soda, it's not a straight up highball. But what you're getting is enough of the sugar sweetness to lift the flavor of the twist that you've put in and to balance the whiskey against soda so that you're getting the full flavor of the whiskey and the twist and you've just got like a twisted highball. This stuff's so good. Right, so did a tasting. We did an expression of something that I absolutely adore within the cabin. Next week on the show, if you do tune in, and please do, I now have the ingredients so I can do, over the weekend, I'm going to do Gabby's Negroni. I'm going to make that up. And next week, instead of just like randomly doing stuff, I'm going to feature the whole week JJ's Kitchen Cocktails. It makes perfect sense that we would feature and highlight drinks from a book that's designed for people that are sitting at home, that, you know, are making drinks at home, because these cocktails in the book are designed for home consumption. Look at that. This is the Pornstar Martini page. So I'll read out his take on what the Pornstar Martini is to end the show. Fizzy, fun and friendly. This bubbly, bouncing beverage is a worldwide phenomenon! Exclamation mark. Vanilla and passion fruit combine perfectly to get your party started right. You've had them at the bar, now it's your turn to make them at home. Ladies and gentlemen, JJ Goodman at his best. This has been Fun Day Friday. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Happy Easter. And yeah, drink more Pornstar Martinis. Or P-style cocktails. Rock and roll. End button.